I get to reclaim who it is that I am every day. I get to wake up and decide how I'm going to be, what I'm going to look like, how I'm going to speak, what I'm going to do. The vibrancy of being able to be in inspiration and spirit in the moment, the present moment, the richness and the fullness. I get to reclaim myself every day. I get to choose consciously what it is that I'm going to do, how I'm going to think, what thoughts I'm going to allow in my head, what abilities and skills I get to turn myself on to. I get to dive in and discover who I am inside, understanding that I'm connected. I'm connected to myself, which is one of the most important things that I personally can think of. Love is this way of walking through life and filtering in these beautiful existences. My life at the current moment wouldn't necessarily, no, it wouldn't be at the top experiences that are broadcast to be happiness as far as mass media would consider. I live a much more simple life now than I used to by choice. I knew there were things in my life that were cluttering up my area, weren't allowing spirit to enter in and flow through me. So I went through a purge of emotions. I went through a purge of healing physical ailments, releasing them and letting them go for the teachers and guides that they were. I have released property. I have released belongings. I released expectations of how things are supposed to be or how they're supposed to turn out. I've released the idea or concept that I think that I know what's going on. I've released who it is that I believe myself to be. And I'm open to change in every moment. I feel like I have found a new way of living, a new way of identifying in life. My past was so hard and structured and masculine and accomplishment. And now I choose a new way. I choose to be in ease and in grace and in peace, no matter what's going on in my life. All of us have obstacles. All of us have challenges. All of us have trauma. All of us. There isn't a soul out there that hasn't experienced something that they would consider extremely intense. So how do we heal those aspects of ourselves so that we too can release and be fulfilled in our life? I don't know that I have the answers for everyone, but what I do have is a way of living that has assisted me in helping. I meditate in the morning religiously. I consciously invite in my guide team, my higher self, angels, guides, whatever deities or beings that I'm feeling called to that would support me. I'm actively doing a practice every single day of movement. For me, it's yoga. And I do this practice with my beloved, my divine masculine, my equal half. We do this to cultivate love and a relationship, as well as believing and aligned goals. We sit with sacred plant medicine cacao every morning, and we pray into this liquid. We pray into this beautiful, divine, sacred plant that has been used to open up the heart chakra, to open up love, to open up possibilities. I'm one to believe that sitting with anything in intention and ceremony can invite in those qualities that you are desiring to call in, you're wanting to experience in your life. You're wanting to hone in an alignment for yourself of how you desire to walk through life. I make sure that I do some sort of temple body love, some sort of a workout. Frequently, I speak to myself in the mirror. I feel like having a conversation with yourself is really the only way to get to know who you are, what you believe, what your values actually are, not what you were taught by your parents or society. This is a daily practice of assisting ourselves in walking into the versions that we truly desire to be, we truly desire to obtain. I make sure that I am journaling or processing, recording myself, or writing things down on a pretty consistent daily basis. I sit with myself and contemplate frequently. I allow myself the time to let my mind wander and contemplate. I realize that there is so much knowledge here on the world. There are so many books. There are so many teachers. There are so many YouTube channels. There are so many points to be drawn to. But for me, my way of understanding how to live has been by tapping into my heart, allowing myself to view inside what is going on in here. Why do I have a pain? And allowing myself to think about it, feel it, try to get inside my body and ask it questions. Why am I hurting? Why are you here? What are you to teach me? I realize that my way of living is not going to be everyone's way of living, nor can I even claim at this moment that I have anything truly figured out. I just know that I found a way to walk more into my happiness, walk more into my authenticity, to walk more into my fuck yes, to walk more into being ignited in life. I desire to share myself open, raw, and authentic because I feel that that's what the world needs. Right here in this moment before I came on camera, I'm going to be so raw. I went and I had a few puffs of cannabis, one. Won't be technical, one. And then I also allowed myself to sit with tobacco and have three hits of that to ground myself and to bring this message into an embodied message. I sat with that medicine in intention, coming on here knowing that I was going to be open and raw and real and that I needed some assistance in allowing myself to crack open just a little bit. It feels good in my body and my soul to just be me. And so that's where my teachings come from, is how I have found my way into more happiness, not blissful happiness. Not every day is a freaking party. I still have obstacles and challenges and uh, oh, voices to contend with and thoughts and uh, old programming and just so many things coming in. And I don't always understand all of what is happening with me, but I do my best. I do my best when I can to sit and ask and contemplate. I have seen therapists, I have seen psychologists, I have spoken with my beloved, I have friends. And you know what I found? I love being able to connect and have that conversation. But when it really comes down to it, the answer that resonated the most was the one that I found when I sat with myself. When I said, okay, we have all these opinions. Thank you. What do I feel? How do I resonate with this information? What are my values and what I want to bring into the world? And through this decision, am I moving forward with that? Or am I moving further away from it? And it gets tricky. Even going out and deciding to have a small ceremony and partake in some plant medicine, I was weighing back and forth whether or not I should do it because I was programmed in a religion that taught me that I needed to be controlled, that I needed to be obedient. And so many things that I have done in the past, I've questioned. Am I doing what God wants me to do? Am I doing what Jesus wants me to do? Am I doing what my mother would want me to do? Am I doing what my husband would approve of? Am I doing what society would be okay with? Am I posting things that people are going to resonate with? Is it all right? Is it acceptable? Is it PC? Am I speaking the way I should? Because I consciously chose at a certain point in my life when I had hit a level of burnout that I knew was going to cost me my life, that I needed to stop educating myself and just live. That there are so many opinions out there that are glorious and beautiful and helpful. And still, when I read through the books and I look at the newsletters and I hear opinions from people that I dearly care about, it comes back to me understanding if that information resonates with me. So, as risky as it may seem, or as I don't know, some people might think that it's the only word that's coming right now is uneducated of me, possibly foolish. I find it to be fulfilling, completing, grounding, embodying what I've already learned, bringing home everything of my previous experiences and knowledge and allowing me really to sit with that and to digest that. It doesn't mean that I don't get any additional information. I watch YouTubes and I do other things, but I'm not in this searching and seeking and having to have information that would educate me or assist me further. You'll even find in my videos that I may not use the highest level wording. You like that? Vocabulary. And I don't mind because I got to a place where I got so beaten down that I, in a way, gave up and then chose to rebuild myself when I had my awakening and read voraciously in the beginning. and did the whole Reiki certification and got my Reiki master's, which is beautiful healing. And then realized that I was more of an intuitive healer. And the Reiki class didn't teach me that. I had to speak with my guides about what was going on. I'm seeing density in this person. I'm seeing glowing. I'm in my mind's eye. I'm seeing, or I'm feeling, pain. I had to dissect for myself what was going on. And there's all these beautiful books out there about emotion codes and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones right now. Just so many different healing modalities and different ways. There's even books out there about how signs of the universe come across and exactly what they mean. And for me, I find some of that helpful because it gives me a basis of where to go from. At least it allows me a connection with the universe. Like the number 2 for me is, creation. And so I know when I'm seeing that, it's an indication of I am creating or there is something to create. Number 4 for me is practicality, groundedness, law, bringing it home. And so I got to a place in my path where I realized that I absolutely can become more educated. I'm not going to say that I'm done learning or anything like that, but I'm at a pause. I'm really just taking a pause to figure out what and who it is that I want to be. Because I know I have a voice that desires and in a way it feels like me like purposefully needs to be shared. And there's not a book that's necessarily going to teach me exactly how to share my authentic self. It can teach me how to speak. It can teach me the right words to say. It can teach me so many beautiful things. And, a lot of people may call me naive, and to each their own. But I feel like there's so much more inside this vessel to discover that is cosmic and timeless. The consciousness in it, the vehicle, of course, perishes, but the consciousness held within. I've witnessed myself almost as a roadmap at times, a cosmic map of multiple possibilities and multiple dimensions, all within my own mind. I cultivated a relationship with myself where answers are given almost instantaneously, and I sit with many of those to understand what truly feels right. And it comes down to love. It's very interesting. Majority of things that I have walked my way through in life, I have found the answer is love. And even people that I've conversed with have also agreed that the answer is love. Loving ourselves, loving other people. Divine, inspirational, unapologetic, uniquely you type of love. I choose my definition of love to be fully accepting, to be all encompassing, radical acceptance. I choose to come home to myself and to allow myself to really witness what I'm going through. And I do it because I have the beautiful capability of doing one thing and still being able to ask myself questions. Many of us do. What are we thinking about in the day? And again, I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life or what they should or shouldn't do. All is perfect, each to their own. Que sera, sera. Now I'm just throwing out phrases. I don't know. Sometimes I want life to be so much more magical and epic and shiny and vibrant than I'm currently experiencing or feeling. And I don't know that reaching for new, exciting, shiny, bright is always the best choice when choosing my happiness. I found that accepting what is currently, how things are, currently how my home is, currently how I'm feeling, accepting that, and then moving through the emotions or what I'm feeling in a conscious way, allowing myself to really look and see. I allow myself to take sacred pauses and sacred moments so that I can question myself and contemplate with myself. My way of living includes good bedtime bedtime hygiene and a routine. My way of living is understanding that I'm an energetic being and that it requires maintenance. Just like a car requires maintenance, our human body requires maintenance, our energetic system requires maintenance, our spiritual body requires maintenance. Taking a cleansing shower and removing the day, removing the gunk that I feel like gets stuck on, the lint, if you will, with intention of washing the day off, really assists me and helps me. This is just me being open and vulnerable and sharing myself. This is almost in a way like a look into my diary. And I don't know the exact reason why I've chosen to put myself on display. Not true. It's for remembrance sake. It's to help people remember who it is that they are. I know my purpose. I know I'm here to help people remember. I know I'm here as an angelic being who is guided and protected. And as I said that, my timer said 22 minutes and 33 seconds. 22, 33. Both universal signs for me. 22 is a master creator, a master builder, excuse me. 33 is a wink from the universe in my world. See, I found that I could create a language with the universe, and it's much like learning a new language, except for this one worked in a way that I was able to give meaning to colors, symbols, numbers, animals, almost anything. Even at one point, I was asking for answers in colors of cars. And this is the way that I live my life. This doesn't mean that it's an answer for you. How one person lives their life does not always mean that they have found a key or found the answer. They have found something within themselves, have unlocked something within themselves. It's true that we're humans, and so there are many similarities in how our systems operate. However, at the same time, how vastly different each one of us is. Unique fingerprint for each one of us. And so I have found a way that I've just allowed me to be me more and understood what does this fingerprint actually mean? What is the coding that is in there? What is the identity? What is the essence? And that's taken a lot of time alone to get to. Sitting in the woods alone, going to Airbnbs alone, being at my home, and God, I'm so grateful and thankful that I don't have a full-time job, but being at home alone, sitting in my meditation chair alone, speaking with myself alone, and then coming back to community, to integrate, to assimilate, to vibrate and to join back in together. But my answers have come from my inner world, majority of them. And I might get haters out there that are like, well, what about this? What about this? What about... Dude, I'm just sharing my experience, okay? This is my life, my YouTube channel. This is what I get to share. I'm not an encyclopedia of information. I'm just me. I'm me as I am in this now moment. And that will be different tomorrow and different than it was before. I'm challenging myself to be as authentic as I can in 2026 because that is what the world needs. We need rawness. We need emotion. We need to feel again. Women, we need to feel our sacred rage for what's going on this planet. Feel it all. Every emotion. Do your best to hold yourself sacred and to allow them to move through, because that is what an emotion is. It is energy in motion. It's moving through our bodies. We can be a witness to it instead of an actor of it. Experiencing it, breathing through it, becoming a warrior, allowing us an understanding of how to find that calm, centered place. And then coming back to love, acceptance, forgiveness, every time. There have been emotions that I have felt that I thought have been wrong or too much or too out there or too dark or too much. And then I realized that no, that's what you felt. Like there is something inside of you that is feeling that. There's something of you that's tapped into that. And it needs to be expressed. It needs to be released. It needs to be let go. It needs to be witnessed. By witnessing myself and holding myself sacred as I would a beautiful, divine, sacred child, an innocent infant, has allowed me to nurture myself back every time. I have a mantra that I tell myself when I'm in these dark moments, and it's the light will always come. The light will always come. At the darkest moment for me and my world, my universe, the dimension in which I choose to live in, the light always comes. And a lot of that is because I believe it. A lot of that is because I know it to be true. It is my own truth. The light always comes every single time. This is just me sharing a little bit more about me. Words that I felt inspired to speak about and claim. We're headed into a fire horse. A fire horse. The only thing I see when I think of fire horse is like this freaking stallion on fire, just bolting, running through. And I'm going, okay, that's the energy that we're headed into. February 17th, come on, baby. Get up. Let's ride that horse and let's figure out this thing. And for me, my horse is authenticity. My horse is being able to assist people in remembering who it is that they are, to remember their multidimensionality, to remember their divinity, to remember their angelic nature, to remember their past lives, their future lives, to remember. And I do that through who I am, my transmission of what I've realized. I don't have the answers for absolutely every person on the planet. I am able to tap in and to channel and to see spirits and to speak with spirits and to have my guide team, to feel them all around, all my angels. But from my perception, my lens of how I see the world, as clear of a channel as I am always dedicated to being, and I know every other person that's in some sort of a healing modality should be, we still have our own experiences, thoughts, filters, beliefs. I do know that great channelers, I've heard them say that, and I've been asked several times, please just read, because we can only use what's in your conscious mind and your subconscious mind to be able to communicate those words. And so the words that I speak might be just a little bit more limited because of my conscious choice of reaching a certain point of getting a bachelor's degree and then going, like, I'm done with this way of being. I'm done with this societal acceptance of how we are supposed to be educated. Nature is my teacher. The grass is my teacher. The cosmos is my teacher. I feel very tuned in and turned on and aligned with stating that I'm a cosmic being, with knowing that I'm galactic in nature. I'm so much more than human. I'm so beyond what I feel like is considered to be a human. And that experience is in my inner world. And I now understand so much why people use AI to display some of their messages, because they can put their goddess crowns on and the flowy cosmic streamers of gold and white and stars and galactic in nature, because that's how I feel. And I am what I think and feel. Sending you so much love.